Square Enix's new modern audience game, Killerin, has finally released in early access, and even though this game is only $9.99, it's got virtually nobody in game. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I completely understand that there is going to be an audience of people who see early access or even a beta and don't want to play a certain experience. They just want to wait for the full release to roll around because they are not people who want to be QA testers. They do not want to have to deal with bugs and glitches when they're trying to experience a title for the first time. I understand that, but there are still games that release into early access that are wildly successful. The most recent examples are things like Grounded 2, you have Pal World, the list goes on, but those are just a few major hits, and we're talking about Square Enix here. You would think, oh my gosh, I hear Squeenix, I buy it, I download it, especially when it's only $10. When you have a very low price tag, it also generally helps the sales figures and the player counts, but not in the case of Killerin, because it seems that virtually everybody is rejecting this game, or maybe this really does just highlight how many modern audience members there are, because as of 5 hours ago, it did hit its all-time peak with 813 players, but in-game right now is already down to 406, and on release day, it had gotten at its highest 417, which really is terrible. You are talking about a major company within this industry that should be able to draw in thousands and thousands of people. Now, I do think there are a few problems surrounding this game. Terrible character designs aside, they didn't market this properly. They didn't show it off at any sort of large gaming events like the Game Awards or a Sony State of Play or a Summer Games Fest. They haven't really talked about it, and they've been silent on it on their social media. So they have really let this fly under the radar. Maybe they're just waiting for a large marketing push when it eventually releases, but this is a game that you need people to be in the title for. This isn't some single player experience, it's a live service game. So if you've only got 400 people, well, that means you're only going to get a handful of lobbies going, and it's going to take forever to get into a match. And like I mentioned, this game is only $10, and it's got a early access launch sale, and it's only $8.99. I generally say most games are worth at least $10. Sometimes, sure, you wait for $5 at a bargain bin. Generally, though, yeah, $10, that's a pretty good deal. In the case of this, though, ooh, even this low price tag could not get people interested in this experience. I don't think that it looks very polished. I think that it looks like it had a lot of work that they needed to do. And yeah, this is generally why they release games into EA, so that they can get feedback, but you need people to be giving you feedback. I think the character designs are bad. A lot of the gunplay just seems pretty stiff. Some of the mechanics seem relatively inventive, pretty interesting, because it's basically Clue, but in this massive mansion, it's a corpse has been found and everyone is a suspect. You have been chosen to participate in a one-night-only game of death. Deceit and deduction. Will you be a wolf or perhaps a lamb with the means to fight back? In deception, we trust, and even the people who bought this and who are giving it a shot don't like it, as the overall reviews are sitting at mixed. And yeah, there's only 113 of them, but usually when we are seeing such few people buy a game and so few people giving it a shot, it's the super fans. It's the people who were really excited, who are going to show up to support them, and even these people are like, yeah, this is trash. A battle pass at this stage in the game might just be the most scummiest garbage business practice I have seen in the past 10 years of gaming. Refunded. This is disgusting. This is not okay. At all whatsoever. I get later down the line, maybe putting some sort of battle pass system that the audience agrees on into an experience, but when you're already charging $10, the game is buggy broken and it's just bad, and you're putting microtransactions into it, yeah, you don't deserve money. Falls too far away from the werewolf genre. Half of the fun of TTT was people yelling at each other and trying to deduce who the traitors were. People would stay grouped up to some extent to stay safe from the killers. In the game I've played, there's been nobody with a mic. Everyone just sprints around trying to do quests and murder each other. Yeah, it just doesn't sound like anybody's playing the game the way the devs probably intended, but that means that, yeah, nobody's going to want to really play it if they're in it for the mechanics. Laggy and janky AF right now. Massive server lag, server instability, rubber banding, invisible walls when going through doors where two players block each other off, and server rubber bands you back. Mainly a lot of server issues, even if playing in your own region. Game overall seems fun in concept, but the lag issues are insanely frustrating. From what I have seen, most of the positive reviews are saying, oh, it's an early access, you need to give it a chance, there are going to be problems, and I do agree. When you go into playing a early access experience, you need to give them a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit more leeway, but it still needs to run, and it still needs to be a good experience all around. And that's not what this game is offering to people. Way too much lag. Regions need to be restricted. Every single match I've played in NA servers have had unbearable rubber banding. In the current state, it's crazy unbalanced. I have not seen the game go to the actual late stage once. That is not an exaggeration. You either die too fast to get a decent build, or everyone is killed so fast that it never even makes it to the Guardian fights. Insanely unbalanced game at the moment. There might as well not even be the whole boat section they have in the tutorial at all, let alone imagining everyone coordinating it all. Shaking my head, figure it out, but it has potential. There are some people saying there's fantastic social deductions that actually have mechanics for finding the killers instead of just witnessing a killing and convincing everyone else, but doesn't seem like the technical difficulties are able to be overlooked in favor of what might be some pretty cool mechanics. Super laggy, terrible optimization, do not recommend. This person gave a positive and just said, okay, what am I supposed to do? Which I just think is so funny. It's like a pity review. It's so funny to me. Ooh, this game, solid, should make a console port if you have a config for controllers. This is the most fun I've had with a new game in a while. Some of these just seem a little bit suspicious, in my opinion, maybe. I am being far too harsh, though, wow, some of these are just saying, wow, 10 out of 10 game, even though they're not saying what is it 10 out of 10 about it. And if you take a peek at the date that it was posted, so like the one on the left and the right say posted February 13th, underneath it will say if a product is refunded or not, and there are quite a few reviews where it says they refunded it, they played for less than an hour, and they just were not interested in giving this another go. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this, but Square Enix has fallen flat with a lot of games over the years. Doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon, as now their latest game has been a complete and utter failure, with its all-time peak being 813 players, even though it's only $10, and even a low price cannot get players to give this title a chance. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.